So whatever you had to do to get here, just shake it out a little bit, wiggle it out, rib roll it out, or doing your Sufi circles. And then bring your hands together for an Om. Before we make sound, just feel what the temperature in your room is. Notice the quality of light. Maybe dedicate your class to someone. And let's sound 3 Oms. Empty your breath. Take an inhale through your nose. And then open your eyes and take your hands to your head. Now try to use your fingertips and stimulate your scalp, and maybe even imagining that even on the top of our head, we have skin that light can move through. And I imagine sometimes that actually, going out at night, the starlight manages to reach through your skin, through your skull, into the depths of your body. Light works that way, that it can permeate every part of us. And then after you've given yourself a good, healthy skull massage, let's iron out our foreheads. Really feeling that a little bit of pressure, it should feel good. There's no bruising. But it's really like you're stimulating and I don't know. Yeah, massaging the little nodes of receptibility, the ability to receive. And then take your knuckles and sweep over your eyebrows a couple of times. And then bring it under your cheeks. So even just smiling during your day is like very, very basic face yoga. And then take it to your chin and out to the sides. And I also have noticed that this kind of ritual of touching my own face, of massaging my face, and even, we can do this together, taking your tongue and massaging your face from the inside wherever you can reach. So mostly around your mouth. As weird as it looks visually, how it feels inside and what it feels like we're doing is really taking a sort of like ownership or dwellingship in our body. And then just take your hands to your heart center and stretch your chin up over your right shoulder, 45 degrees, and then pout your lips. You can even experiment what happens when you push your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Maybe making a little bit of noise helps the release. And then bring your chin back through center, keeping the pressure with your hands in and down. Take your chin to your left shoulder, lift it up. Pout your mouth. Notice how even stimulating and pushing your tongue to the top of your mouth kind of influences how you're sitting. And then take your chin to center, lift up your chin, stick out your tongue, and tick-tock your tongue. Beautiful. And then bring your gaze straight forward and start to just shake out your hands. Ooh la la, you're so hot right now. Notice there's a particular sound, like you're wringing out your hands. You can even do it so they feel a little bit numb. We all get our jollies in different ways. Okay, push your walls out. So push the base of your palms out and really reach your hands like you're trying to make more space for yourself. Like let your heart shine, let your heart lift up, pull your arms back a little bit. And then maybe feeling a little bit like you're in a Karate Kid movie, pull your fingers to your wrists. And then push the base of your palms out. And pull your fingers to your wrists. Now, these exercises, they suggest doing around 10. And you can get creative. Like what happens when you push one side and pull another side? Huh? Or the other way around. Maybe it's from Karate Kid, you feel like a weird traffic cop now. Or like you're in some video. All right, shake out your hands again. And flash your fingers like you're telling people on either side of the room to turn on your lights. Dude, turn on your light, man. Okay, then wrap your thumbs up. Bring your elbows in and make circles like you're a little cheerleader. In my hot yoga classes lately, I've been making jokes about, everyone has an inner critic, but do you have your inner cheerleader? Cultivating your inner cheerleader. Woo! Okay, shake it out. It feels totally awkward at first. Okay. And then stretch your arms out, make kind of loose fists, and pretend that you're lifting weights. Now, you might have this moment like, okay, really? Is this yoga? And it's from what's his honorific? Lama Swami, as I believe his name. And this series is Pawanmuktasana. And it's really wonderful because it can really be made to suit you. So imagine you're lifting really heavy weights. Oh yeah. Now imagine those weights are just as heavy, but you're super strong. And then shake out your arms again. But this can be used if you're not feeling so great, if you have an injury. It really is a method to actually allow the energy to flow through your joint system. Okay. Now that we've lifted weights, we're going to bring our fingers to your shoulders, so the front of your shoulders. And first you're going to try to touch your elbows in front of you, maybe successfully. And then like you're making little eurythmy L's, but it's a big motion with your arms. Try to touch your elbows behind you. So you can feel that you're rotating basically your arm muscles and your arm bones in your shoulder sockets. And then reverse. So moving through the joint system, it opens them up and allows our energy to travel more interrupted. So even if a patient is stuck in bed, they can do a lot of these motions. Okay, shake it out, wiggle it out. Now, this next motion, you bring your fingers in front of your shoulders again, and we're going to do, this is actually from Kundalini practice, but we're going to exhale with whenever we want. We're not going to be too tight about the breath. So just start to find this motion back and forth, keeping your heart lifting, letting your head move with the motion. Turn on your breath. Notice what it does naturally. You can close your eyes. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, relax your arms down. We will be revisiting that a little bit. Now we're going to add a little section that isn't officially part of this Pawanmuktasana, a little bit bigger section. So we're going to do some cat-cow. So just effort your chest forward and then pull your sternum back. Trying not to get too short, like so you're not bumping up and down, but you're really just working on curving more like your ribs or your upper back than your lower back nearly. Yes, beautiful. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, of course, this exercise is a little bit like fractions. But it's not from side to side. I mean, that too. But now, as above, so below. So stretch your legs out in front of you. If you struggle to sit just in an upright staff position, you can always bring your hands a little bit further back behind you. And then see if you can keep your feet relaxed and just start to move your toes. Often confused with like pointing and flexing. Now I can't see your feet, but that's usually what we do. So try to just wiggle your toes. And you might notice there's they're your toes. You should be able to move them, right? Or maybe you're thinking of Kill Bill in that scene where she has to wiggle her toes as her body recovers from anesthesia. But you'll discover that you can move your big toes. You can even move your pinky toes quite independently. But those middle 3, they're like little choirs. They only move in symphony together. Okay, fantastic. Now you're going to point and flex and point and flex. So very much if you ever did a ballet class when you were like 3, or maybe 13, depending on when you went there, 23 even. I think I did one of my first ballet classes. And then see if you can make little fists with your toes and then stretch them out. Now, if you haven't ever had the joy of trying to draw or write with your feet, that's a whole nother exploration that you can check out. And if your feet are like mine at all, they're like cracking and releasing. Okay, now separate your legs just a little bit. I'm not going to sit like that anymore because it's getting a little annoying in my hands and I don't need to. But you can make adjustments you need to. Make circles with your feet. And I think the most natural way to make circles is we actually make circles that are going in opposite directions. And then change the direction of your circles. Now, can you make your circles go in the same direction? Little conducting exercises with your toes. You can pick whatever timing you want. All right, shake out your feet. You can shake out your legs a little bit. And for this next one, I like to bend my left knee while I work with the right leg. And you take your hands underneath. You take your hands underneath your thigh and you hold your knee close towards your ribs and you see if you can like wiggle your lower leg to make sure like you're not really holding tension there. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, and then you're going to keep your heart lifting up and stretch your right leg long and try to pull your heel towards your buttocks. Stretch it long. Hello. Just pull it in. Probably about 7 more. So keep your heart lifting up. 1 more. Maybe I did that too fast. You might need an extra one. And then release, and we're going to change legs. This is the fraction part. One side, do it to one side, got to do it on the other. Take your hands behind your thigh, Maybe, just check out, make sure your leg is relaxed. It might take a little coaxing to relax your leg. And then, keeping your heart lifted, reach your left leg long and pull your heel in. I like to stretch my toes when I lengthen my leg, but you can flex or stretch or mix it up. Notice it's a slightly different stretch when you flex compared to when you point. Yeah, so if you're working with an elderly person, this is also another fun kind of series of exercises to do, just to help the vitality in the body. And then release. Shake out your legs, give them a little rub. And this next one you can also do one leg at a time, but ever since I realized you can do it 2 legs at a time, I don't understand why you would do it 1 leg at a time. So bring your feet together in Baddha Konasana. And some people have their knees kind of high up and some people are relaxed on the ground. So if your knees are relaxed on the ground, I encourage you to pull your heels a little closer, so it's a little bit more of an effort. And then just throw your knees down to the ground. Keep your heart lifted. Now visually, I always feel like if I did this fast enough, I should start to levitate. But you can have your own imagination around this. You're feeling it probably in your hip flexors. Or maybe you're just napping, whatever. Give us a couple more, little throwing it, trying to let your knees be thrown down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ta-da! Okay, shake them out. Oh, that feels, yeah? You can feel it in your hip flexors there. Now, this next part, we're going to come up onto our toes. And depending on how advanced you are with this practice, the first part is you're just going to try to just tap one knee at a time down to the ground, keeping your butt as close to your heels as possible. And you can walk around your yoga mat. I have a little leash because I'm charging my microphone. But I don't think you have a leash. Now, if you've been practicing yoga, you can also try trying to like walk around like pretending to be a chicken. And quite literally can take your hands in front of your shoulders and add wings here. And make little hallelujah L's with your wings. So would that be your eurythmy chicken? And it's awkward. It's okay to be awkward. Move one more circle around your mat or up and down your mat. So keeping it simple, just having your heels as close to your butt or tapping your knee in between, keeping your arms, your hands at your shoulders, or we're actually making circles. Oh yeah, beautiful. And then come to your mat and lie down, just so you can feel how that landed in your body. Maybe you feel a tingling sensation, an energy rush like through your body. Just feel it for a couple more moments. That really is you feeling your prana, even your pranamaya kosha. You're feeling the etheric. Notice how it's kind of wavy and tingly. And then hug your knees up to your chest. And roll back and forth, side to side, massaging your lower back. And then roll from your head to your pelvis 4 times. And on your 5th time, roll up into a seated position. Slide your heels in. This time, bringing your feet 2 hands length away from your groin. grab onto your shins, effort your chest up. Notice that this is that cat pose. Heart lifts, look up, take a full inhale. And with your exhale, start to sigh out and roll down, softening in to a yin pose. Now, this isn't just your regular yin pose, because we did this thing where we actually warmed up our joint system. So you might feel that it's still a little tingly, a little charged. And notice the quality of your breath. And decide to stay in the pose through being uncomfortable or bored. And invite curiosity. See what feels different on your inhale compared to your exhale. Now, while this movement through our joint system, through the moving the fascia really, it's allowed us to experience this tingling sensation of our etheric body. Let's start to bring our imagination to what it would be like to feel our physical and elemental body. And we can start to notice that as we are still in the yin pose, we can feel kind of the heaviness of our bones. We can feel, the weight of our body pulling against the tension in our joints. You can notice the fleshiness of your body. And this heavy quality is where we tap into the sensations of our physical body, but also our elemental body. This body that we share with all things. This fact that we exist. We are here in this 3D dimension, this real on earth manifestation right now. And our complexity really arises out of the relationship between these different layers in us. So we have our physical and our elemental bodies. We share that with the whole world, everything that is in existence physically has an elemental being connected to it. And then it has this life vibrating, pulsing part of our etheric going together with it. Now start to roll up, lift up, and come back onto your elbows. So your elbows are behind you. You can walk your elbows closer together. How cool you can walk with your elbows. And feel that you're squeezing your shoulder blades together in a way that pops your chest up. And then if it's not aggressive for you, if it's not too much sensation, just drop your head back and feel your head dropping towards the ground. We stay this way for about halfway of the pose, and then we take the upper body to the ground. If you need to do so before I cue you to, feel free. We're aiming for the half-half, so about 2.5 minutes like this. And as we have the blood rushing to our head, we might be a little bit more connected to our body of desires and dreams and thoughts and mind. So you might be thinking, I don't want to be in this position. You might also be like noticing the blood go to your head. And so our astral body, which is of this finer substance, beyond distinctions that we have in our physical body, with more complexity, including all of the thoughts you have, all of the feelings, all of the wishes and desires and dreams and ambitions. This is our colorful world of the astral body. And as adults, we don't get to experience just the physical or just the elemental or just the etheric and the physical. We actually always experience that together with the astral experience. So we have this layer of opinions and feelings and thinking around even something as simple as doing a yoga pose. Now allow your elbows to slide out to the side, and you can take your hands above your head and you're taking your hands into a mudra, so it means a yoga posture for your hands. Your thumbs and your index fingers connect. You spread out the other fingers, and then you slide your thumbs right down to where your head and the earth meet without having to lift up your head. You want to feel the incredible openness of this pose. Expansion. Maybe also you've noticed the relief after having your head hanging. Try even closing your eyes for a moment. And then stretch your body long. Again, returning to this Shavasana feeling. You can relax your arms down by your sides. And just pause for a moment and notice the sensations in your body. So as we move through these subtle bodies, you can imagine that the substrate or the substance becomes finer and finer, lighter and lighter. And also, it starts to get harder for us to grasp. Now this time, you're going to hug your knees in and you're going to rock back and forth, and you're going to find your way all the way into forearm plank. What? So you can jump back, you can swivel back. You can start by setting up with Sphinx, and then tuck your toes under and employ your abdominals to lift up that middle part. Now, you're always welcome to drop your knees down to the ground if you need to, or you can lift your butt a little too high and then bring your hips back down. You want to feel that you're reaching your heels back, your chest is reaching forward. You're trying to lift your belly button up to your spine, and you can inch forward and backwards. We're over the halfway point, barely, but we're there. So it's okay to shake. It's okay to feel like you're struggling. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bring your hips down, stretch your toes, and maybe extend just for a moment your elbows a little bit and try to wiggle your chest forward, and then bring your elbows back down to the ground for Sphinx pose. Remind your belly to relax. So, strengthening our abdominals isn't just a frivolous practice. And it's okay if that's part of your motivation. Frivolous. That wouldn't be your motivation. Hello. My subtext there was vanity. Like, we're not just doing our abdominals to try to have a skinnier waist and hate on our soft feminineness. No, no, no. The abdominals have a large part to play, actually, with how our upper body moves and goes together. It coordinates with our lower body. And while there's some misconceptions about how we need to be in our bodies physically for spiritual practices, a lot of spiritual, like if you imagine the extreme case of, we're trying to prepare ourselves to host this most incredible beingness of the Christ, of spirit, of incredibly advanced energies, advanced, holy, pure, unadulterated, God-like energy. Now, if we're trying to cultivate our body like that, it means we actually have to find the places that we're weak in our body and strengthen them so they can withstand that holiness. So there is a story about Christ incarnating into the body of Jesus for 3 years because the body couldn't sustain that vast, huge being for much longer than 3 years. There's certain occult laws that had to be honored in this incarnation of the Christ being into Jesus's body. And Jesus had worked from lifetimes to lifetimes through different incarnations, through different beings even, on getting to the point where he was able to refine his physical body into such a way that he had the openness and the strength to host the Christ. Now, extend your arms for seal. If that's too much for you, you can always grab a pillow and, put it like I happen to have one really close by. That's kind of perfect. But you can just put a pillow underneath your forearms, or even blocks or 2 equal-sized books. But if seal is okay for you, try it out. Letting your lower body be heavy and relaxed, feeling your heart open, healing pressure going into your lower back. One of the motivations for wanting to heal ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, is actually to remove the blocks and traumas, or the traumas create blocks in our body that inhibit the free flow of this loving energy, of this connection to spirit. And then start to soften and come down to the ground. You're going to place your forehead onto your forearms and just wiggle your hips side to side. And then roll onto your side, like we're going to do pulling the cat's tail, but we're going to start with something else first. So you're going to stretch your left arm long and actually relax. Just want to make sure I'm not burying my microphone. Relax your left ear onto your left arm and stretch your right arm down the top of your right thigh. So you're lying on the side. And then see if you can lift your right leg just a little bit. And then lift your left leg to your right leg. Now you might start to flop around like a fish already. If you need to, you can always take your right hand as a little stop here. And then maybe see if you can lift up your head. And then maybe see if you can lift up your left arm. And if you're feeling sassy and you're not wiggling like one of those fish on the walls, feel that you can stretch your arms over your ears, lift up both ends. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Now put your left hand underneath your head and stretch your right leg straight out from your hip. Bend your left knee, hold onto your left foot with your right hand, and even shift your left knee back a little bit so you can feel the stretch in the belly of your left thigh. And then yogi's choice. If you want to add more of a twist here, you take your left shoulder slightly to the left and drop both of your shoulders towards the ground. If you still have a little further to go and you want to hook your peace fingers onto your big right toe on your left hand, feel free. Actually, it's called Ninja Star when you go all the way. Feel your breath. Notice that that is part of your life force. This movement, pulsing in and out, vibrating state. And then notice what you're doing with your astral forces. What are you thinking? What are your reactions? And then maybe we can float into just a little bit of perspective, like a little distance from it, and imagine noticing ourselves from outside of ourselves. So witnessing our own reaction and feeling how the choice to practice is part of our capacity to direct our spiritual development. And then when we practice, we enter into the realm of where there's true freedom, because we're moving not just out of our desire life for what we want in the here and now and what comforts and feeds us and slakes our thirst, but we're actually moving into a place where we start to understand where certain practices only bear fruit much further down the road of who we want to be. And then that choice has been made not out of pure selfish desire, but out of freedom, because you are making the choice from the becoming instead of what is. And then release out of the pose and roll back onto your belly. And then tuck your toes under, slide your hands, pull them underneath your shoulders, and we're going to lift up to a plank. Now, sometimes I find these easier, sometimes I find them harder. If you need to, you can always put your knees down. You can also put your knees down and lift up your feet, which is a nice way to do the knees down version. Feel that you're stretching your chest forward. Even the crown of your head is reaching forward as your heels reach back and your belly lifts up. And then inch back and forth. Rock back and forth. And then slowly lower yourself down to the ground and roll to your other side. So you're lying on your right side, stretching your arm out. Reaching the length of your body, reaching your left arm down, your thighs, or helping you balance even by having your hand in front of you. And then, even though you know where we're going, lift up your left leg. And then see if you can match and bring your right leg there. And it's okay to have this wiggly, woggly little pulsing, vibrating thing. It strengthens all the little muscles in our body. And then lift up your head, and then lift up your hand, your arm, your lower arm first. And then see if maybe you can stretch your other arm over your ear. This posture is called Vishnu's couch. Find a little wiggle. Lift both ends. And then release and bring your right hand underneath your right ear. Stretch your left leg straight out from your hip. Reach behind you. Hold on to your right foot and maybe shift your right knee back. So you feel the stretch in your right thigh. And either stay here, or if you want to go deeper into the pose, shifting your right shoulder just a little, like a centimeter to your right, and then relaxing your shoulders down. And if you want a little extra stretch, you can hook your right fingers to your left toe. For Ninja Star. It's so cool because this complexity of our beingness now as, full-fledged adults, it's something it's hard to get away from. And yes, sure, like sometimes substances are used so you're a little bit slower mentally, or you get visuals, or all sorts of different ways that we compromise our systems. But really, these bodies work together in harmony. But when we're born, it's so cool because, when we're studying, we start to learn that the elemental world is a world of black and white. Color comes later. And you could also think of it as light and darkness, much easier to grasp, but it appears to us like black and white. And when a baby is born, their sight isn't developed the way our sight is as an adult, but it's actually through their seeing that they're able to develop eyesight. And as they grow, the cells, the cells in their eyes develop through seeing. So when a baby's born, we all have the magno and the parvo system in our eyes, and it's really the magno type of cells that can see, and it's this world of contrast. So of course, children, especially in their infancy, can enter the elemental world in a much easier, different way than later, after they've fully developed their etheric body. Not to mention, how much more the complexity of adding the astral body adds to our kind of distance from just being able to experience one plane or the other. And then this time, roll all the way onto your back. Hug your knees to your chest. Pull your head up to your knees. Squeeze in. And then stretch your arms forward, trying to reach your fingers past your toes, keeping your head lifted for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And stretch your body long into Shavasana. And here we come into corpse pose. It's part of our practice of this nod towards the death process between lifetimes, the sleep process between days. But here we're not trying to drift away or fall asleep. We're trying to stay present. So keep your attention in your capacity to feel sensations in your body. Notice that sound keeps you present as well. Maybe you can hear birds chirping outside your house, or maybe you hear people talking, kids playing. stuff moving around. But each one of those sounds is here to help you stay present. Start to deepen your breath. Notice your awareness comes back to your body. Find and feel your edges. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Feel your presence in your body. Maybe even smiling. And then stretch your arms over your head. Reach your feet away from your hands. Stretch long on the inhale. And then with the exhale, curl into a ball and roll onto your right hand side, hugging your knees in, and just feel this vibrancy and this vitality that your presence makes possible in the physical body, in your physical body. And then help yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Maybe bringing your feet into lotus pose or half lotus or easy pose. Allow your hands to meet at heart center. Maybe feel that your hands are warm. Close your eyes, push down towards the ground, and lift up towards the sky at the same time. Lift up an image of the person you dedicated your class to. And let's close with one Om. Empty your breath. Take a deep inhale. Bring your prayer hands to your third eye. Invite the divine light. And as we bow forward together, we say, Namaste. And so much love. Woohoo! 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 Thank you for being here.